Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Train Sim Classic, aka Railworks. Today we're going to be looking at a DLC route one that I don't think gets a lot of attention and is and isn't understandable. It's a bit of a route. But today we're going to be taking a look at the Baltimore and Ohio Kingwood branch by Virtual New Haven Railroad guys. We'll just pull up the Steam page here. Virtual New Haven Railroad. So these are the guys that brought the Springfield New Haven line, which, you know, is pretty darn good for its time. It's definitely older. And this route's kind of the same story. Put out in 2017. It's alright. It ain't $40 alright, though. So let's look at what it is and why. So it's Coal Country Railroading. Baltimore and Ohio Kingwood branch brings classic 1960s Appalachian railroading. It is based on a real route in West Virginia, the West Virginia Northern Railroad, but it is semi-fictional. That is recreated as a Baltimore and Ohio branch line, including a 10-mile roller coaster line between Kingwood and an interchange with the B&O main line at Tunnelton, and a 7-mile run to a large coal seam at Birds Creek, with numerous additional rugged spurs all throughout the mountain. Includes passenger and freight operations with many little flag stops and such, and rolling stock. I think we looked at that. So this is a route that I come to for one single reason, and it ain't for that. So rolling stock is where this route falls very flat on its face. I mean, like, hits brick wall. We're looking at what looks like Microsoft Train Simulator GP9 here. This looks like it started as maybe one of the Dick Cohen models or one of Great Northerner's freeware models, but the RSC GP9 was better when this route came out, so I don't know what they were aiming for with this, but this is pitiful, for lack of a better term. It's pitiful. The fan is not even inside the shroud. Coach car, it's kind of cool in that it's different. It's not the usual lightweight passenger car that we see 10,000 times over that's been in the game since it released. But again, same story, 2D textures and really nothing 3D about it. The caboose is cool, but again, same story. So rolling stock. Matter of fact, this route is much the same story as just about any high iron simulation route that we ever look at. It's the same exact story, where the route itself looks pretty decent. The rolling stock is garbage. In 2024, the rolling stock is pitiful. Freeware reefers, most definitely available from Great Northerner still. All of the rolling stock, I'm pretty sure, comes from the freeware packs on Golden Age of Railroading. 70, 55-ton hoppers, 65-foot gondolas with various loads, flat cars with various loads. The caboose are kind of cool. Kind of different. And old boxcars, I'm pretty sure, are Great Northerner freeware. In a myriad of different schemes. And these little little hoppers. So that's what you get rolling stock wise. Nothing special, nothing fancy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at them because they're as old as the game almost. There's really no point in going over them. But it is absolutely where the route falls absolutely flat is the rolling stock. And the scenery. Given that this route came out in 2017, good lord, the use of billboard trees is awful. Like, maybe off in the distance on the mountains, but right here, trackside, this route came out in 2017. 2017, there is no reason that we should still be using these billboard trees. They look old. They look like they need to be retired. By 2017, I can't confirm trains looked better. Those needed to go away a long time ago. But then there's things like the track. The track looks really good. The overall layout of the route looks really good. I mean, heck, even the turntable here that normally doesn't show up in any other route shows up. The route itself happens to be perfect for these little machine rail Baltimore and Ohio tank locomotives. Like, I love this route specifically for these locomotives. It is an absolute joy to run these locomotives up and down this route with short little passenger trains and whatnot. There are steam servicing facilities. Obviously, we got a water tower right there. You'll get two separate schemes-ish of the GP9, one with a big B&O lettering, one with Baltimore and Ohio. But to be perfectly honest, I looked at these one single time when I bought the route, and I was like, ew, gross, no. And I replaced all of them with RSC models because the RSC models are better, and that's saying something considering they're older. But yeah, nah. And you'll notice that there's not a rhyme or reason to why I have things placed where they are, because whenever I go into a route editor on this route, it blacks out. Like, the whole route looks like it's midnight. And I've changed the weather settings. I mean, I'm using AP Clear right now. I've changed the weather settings. I've tried to change the time of day. I get nothing. So if you're looking to make a free roam scenario on this route, which it does not come with any, you're kind of blind firing because the route's completely blacked out. The only way I have any idea where I'm at is these sidings here. You'll see the glow of the track markers, and that's it. So that's a huge negative. Billboard trees, blacked out scenario editor, and the rolling stock. Those are the three big negatives to this route. But now that I got the negatives out of the way, we can look at the good. So the good. The track work actually looks pretty good. And the setting really fits that West Virginia vibe. And there are some assets that actually look really quite nice. The signaling looks really good. Passenger stations are nice and different. Freight stops. I mean, heck, even these little side towns, they don't look half bad, even though they're using old assets. Like, I'm pretty sure these are freeware buildings from Great Northerner. A lot of freeware use on this route. But decent usage of the freeware. Credit where it is due. And it's not huge, so I should be able to fly end to end on most of the route. So here is one end. This is your kind of mainline track, the B&O main line, so that you can set up AI trains to be running by and whatnot. I think that little branch line tunnel there just kind of ends inside the tunnel. Yeah, it goes off into a tunnel here. I'm pretty sure it just kind of ends. Either ends or it makes a really big circle. And I'm not seeing where that really big circle pops out. So, I'm going to say it doesn't. I don't know how I managed to end up all the way there. But we got our B&O 2-track main line here. Got our nice size interchange yard. And a lot of freight opportunities for all kinds of stuff. I mean, obviously the coaling operation is going to be number one, but they got plenty of sidings for various things like scrap over here, or box cars and such. And then, of course, there are flag stops all up and down the route so that you can play short passenger trains and such. Now, it is kind of entertaining to me that they included so much mainline for your AI stuff that, the truth be told, looks pretty cool. It just kind of kills me that it comes out here and ends. Yeah, you got that nice West Virginia mountain railroading. But, yeah, that's pretty decent. So, again, this is our Tunnelton interchange yard. Oh, another thing. I'm not going to bother trying to run these locomotives. The sounds are so old. A. B. One of the glaring issues with the including rolling stock is the physics. They tried to do some weird physics and fancy braking. I think it's supposed to have the whole advanced braking that nobody likes on diesel locomotives, and it does not play well on these old models. So at full brakes with a locomotive and 2 cars, it still takes you 10 years to stop. So playing scenarios is a real pain in the butt, because you got to plan 5 miles away to start braking, because the brakes really do not work. The physics are really not good. There's not really anything good to say about the rolling stock except for, you know, the 2 unique pieces that's included. So we'll be running the machine rail 040 over there whenever we get ready to operate. Again, it is a branch line. Branch line splits in many different places for little coal mines and the such. So we got our first split pretty much out at the gate. Boom, splits. Makes a left turn. Boom, splits. Got flag stop right there. Run around track. And this split runs up to a little coal mine right here. Nothing big, nothing major. Fair warning though. You'll see this. You guys see how tight that that little curve radius is right there? I don't know what is wrong with the machine rail docksiders, but it will not go through that siding. That right there is, for some reason, too tight. And if you're just going like 2-3 miles an hour, it'll bounce off of it. If you're going like 10, you'll derail. Again, I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but it will not go through these curves. Maybe they have updated it, and I don't know. Maybe they changed it. I don't know. But I know as it sits on my model, it won't go through that. At this branch, it continues up the mountain here. I think, if I remember right, this is, yeah, this is another coal mine. This is where there's kind of a dual coal mine. This is kind of cool. Albeit the old loader here is, it does not fit the era at all. Another little coal mine. Little flag stop. a much larger coal mine with a runaround, so you can load larger trains. Big pit, pretty cool. Now, one thing you will notice is really not a lot of storage facilities on this route. Not a lot of storage sidings. So, switching can be complicated. Oh, goodness. Now, I will give a credit where it is due. Given the use of all this old assets and old scenery, the route doesn't look half bad. You know, it is well populated scenery-wise. There's a lot of it. It's very dense. It's just the use of 2D. Like, these old billboard assets they need to be trashed and deleted. Up at the end of we're up at a nice little spot in the branch line area. We got opportunities, tank, flats, boxes over here, the flag stop. Where are we at? Howellsville. Water tower. Now, being a branch line like this, obviously, speed limit's pretty low. Something like 25 along most of the route, 20, 15 most of the yards. You're not flying through this route, without a doubt. You're crawling. However, what is interesting is how spidery this route is. I mean, it's impossible to run end to end because there's not a end to end. There's ends to end. You see all these little branch lines end up going in 10 different directions. It makes the track really fun, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it keeps you on your toes if you run a decently large train. Gosh, that looks awful. That looks like something from Trains 2006. A big coal mine. And that's pretty much end of track too. For this particular branch. Ends at a big coal mine. Track is very snaky. Grades change rapidly. Let's go up this one. See where this one ends. So another coal mine. Ton of coaling operations. Little coal mine down there. What is fun is it's one of the odd routes in Train Simulator that actually makes use of switchbacks. There's some wild grade. The track does not touch the ground. That's another thing. The grades on this route are almost like logging grades. Like, you almost need something more along the lines of a geared steam locomotive to get up and down some of these grades, because even with the use of switchbacks, they're wild and they're noticeable, and they do not blend at all, as you guys can see. I mean, it is a rapid boom, up, down. Roller coaster would be an understatement. Look at this. Look at that. See that from here. It's not a gradual up, it's a flat up. this whole area. The track's not even touching the ground. Another coal mine. Branch comes up to here to a coal mine. Flag stop there. Branch can go down this way. This extraordinarily antiquated texturing for a river. Big coal mine. Coal? Maybe, yeah. And into the branch for one way. Pretty decent sized yard. Lots of switching. Got a runaround Y. Looks like a locomotive servicing facility. Not really anything industry-wise over here, though. Except look at this. She's kind of an odd spot. Comes way out over here and runs around. But we got kind of a little flag stop and a freight shop. It's odd because I don't see the point in this yard being as large as it is, given facility-wise or freight-wise we have really two things. That's it. Maybe three if that counts as an industry. It is a bit odd. Time to run back down the mountain. Or up the mountain. Up and down the mountain. Already went that way. Again, the grades are wild. There is no rhyme or reason to the way these grades are set up. There is no real decent blending of the grades. I mean, you just go from, you might be going near vertical to going straight down. And it doesn't gradually do so. It just does it then and there. Boom, you're going up. Boom, you're going down. The transitions are not smooth. I know somebody will be like, well, that's how mountain railroading is. It's up and down and up and down. Yeah, I get that, but it's not a... You don't magically glitch from being flat to up. You have a gradual up. And that is very much missed on this route. Without even needing to operate it, you guys can see it on the flat ground. It, you know, jerks up and down. I do believe we went up that way. Can we go up this way? Yeah. All these little branches, it's really hard to keep track of where you're going. We did not, however, go this way. Coal mine. Bam. So I believe that's the whole map. Go ahead and pull up our map here. So here is what is considered the main line. Again, it's kind of wild that they included that much of it, but whatever. And then this is the whole branch. Spiderweb, spiderweb. On two separate directions here. It's a pretty snaky, curvy, wild. Not big by any means is this a big route, but still quite challenging given the wild curvature and grades. how well I can run this thing without needing to play with the HUD too much. I know machine rail locomotives tend to be real picky with trying to run without a HUD. Oh. There we go. Yeah, reverse headlight. Okay, moving a little bit faster than it's supposed to. That's okay. No, we're moving way too fast. We pretty much just been rolling this whole time. I don't even need any throttle. But we'll need it right about now. Let's go in the cab. Now we're going up. So what are we on? 3.5% grade. Drops 15. Now, given the use of such antiquated assets, credit where it is due, my frame rates are glorious, even using a machine rail locomotive. But this is how pretty much the entirety of the route runs. I mean, it's 15 in a lot of places, and 20 to 25 in other places. You crawl along most of the route. Drop the regulator enough, see if I can get it to actually get some chuff without outrunning my ability to go up. We'll get it. I'll stop. 3.8%. Good lord, yeah. Grade-wise, truth be told, if you've got the old, the Shays from Dick Cohen, the really old Shays that look like the MSDS conversions, they'd fit in quite well on this route. Albeit the gearing on those makes it hard to run this route, and they look correct. 15 miles an hour and the gears are barely moving. But visually speaking, those would, truth be told, look way more in place up here. But I think that's good enough. You guys can get a pretty good feel of how this route runs. Come on, brakes. Brakes. But there it is, the Baltimore and Ohio Kingwood branch. Available from Steam for $40 US. That is kind of stout, given the very, very heavy usage of very, very outdated assets. $40 is too much. But on sale, you can usually find this route for 20-ish US dollars, and for $20, it's alright. I still kind of feel $20 is steep, but if you're buying this just for the route and you have, like, as you can, like I do, the machine rail B&O tank locomotive goes really, really, really well on this route. I love it. It's one of those odd routes that the locomotive fits in quite well. I get my use out of it for that, so for $20 on sale is alright-ish, but I still think it is way outdated for money. If you do have any interest in it, it is available on the Steam store. Go check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next time.